Welcome back to Stadium Stories for today's episode with the St. Leo women's basketball head coach, Anthony Crocitto. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. Before we jump into all things St. Leo women's basketball, could you take us back and connect some dots about your journey here? I know you are from New York, played baseball, went to Hofstra, and have been coaching women's basketball since. Could you take me back to your upbringing, your family in New York, and how that set you up for success working in athletics?
Well, I'm from a New York Italian family. I'm the youngest of 6 children, so it was a kind of a different path for me than my 3 older brothers, who are now all doing very well as licensed electricians in New York City, Long Island, in the unions, or owning their own companies. So my path was a little different. I was the first to graduate college from Hofstra University. I thought I was going to be a stockbroker. I thought I was going to do money management stuff, and my buddy Wayne said, "Hey, you're fooling people. You're fooling people." Because me and him have been coaching together since we were 16, 17, and here I am interviewing my senior year at Hofstra at the job fairs for different things, and it just wasn't meant to be. And luckily, I made the right choice to start coaching high school sports. I got junior varsity boys basketball jobs, junior varsity baseball jobs. Worked my way up to varsity baseball for 5 years that I thoroughly enjoyed, because my primary sport growing up was baseball. I played my fall year at Hofstra, but I was over my head. And I played really well, but I was still not as quick, not as tall, not as athletic as the other guys. And, from not playing in college to becoming a high school coach, I met my first women's basketball associate in the business, a good friend of mine, Phil Stern, and he was the varsity girls coach where I was the varsity boys assistant. And he came up to me and said, you work your butt off in practice. Are you willing to learn and come work for me at college? You can get your master's. I said, oh, great. So I took a job with him about 26 years ago as a Division II assistant, probably making about $1,500 for 80 hours a week. The rest is almost history, because that master's, I did everything but student teach, and I thought I was going to be a teacher. But the mindset was, for 3 years under him, I learned every single thing there was to learn about women's basketball in terms of running a program. But I was very young, so I still didn't know what my path was. My athletic director gave me a chance at age 24 to be a head coach. I was a head coach there for a couple of years. Got an exciting position as a D3 head coach a few hours away outside of Boston. Embraced it, loved it. But then the Division I world woke me up. And I did 10 years as a Division I assistant before starting my Division II head coaching career over again. So I think I was 7 years in New York. I'm going into my 6th here. So it's almost about 15 years head coaching experience, although a lot of it was young and on-the-job training when I started, because it was very interesting at a young age. So it's like, I'm back where I started, but I'm better for it, if that makes sense.
I didn't know you wanted to be a stockbroker. That's really cool.
I thought I was going to work in Wall Street. I had a business degree from a pretty darn good school of business at Hofstra. First to graduate, I don't really know. It was almost like I was going the stereotypical mental path. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to job fairs. I interviewed at Enterprise, interviewed with Marriott, and I was waiting to hear back from Merrill Lynch or some of the bigger guys. And I just started. I kept working in the retail. I worked at believe it or not, a VHS company that turned into a laser disc company. I don't know if you're even old enough for laser discs, but they were very big DVDs. That was like the biggest thing ever. Laser discs lasted about 2 years, and then DVDs came. The company was Suncoast Motion Picture Company in the biggest mall on Long Island, and I worked for them on and off for like 3 years while I was coaching.
Clearly, you're passionate about coaching, and I was wondering, what are some of your favorite things now that you're really set and are a veteran coach? What are your favorite things about coaching women's basketball?
Talking to Fran Reedy yesterday and Paul, the swim coach, and Tish yesterday, what I like the most is my 2 NCAA teams in NYT two different people are trying to set up Zooms, like reunion Zooms. I still connect with my first team from 1999, at least 5 players, not only just Facebook, but text, a phone call here and there. They're having children, they're getting married. It's the relationships, it's the international relationships in Egypt, in Greece, in England, all those amazing things. And what gets lost is, my father passed away 3 months ago, and actually, no, 5 months ago. And within the first couple of days, my head athletic trainer from NYT called me. So you can't lose sight of the places you worked where you developed relationships. So those are the exciting things that surround the job. On the court, it's just, you're coaching basketball. I still have the love for recruiting that I've had my entire life. So that's a wonderful part of the job.
You mentioned you served in the role of as an assistant for a number of years at different schools. What advice would you give to those who want to be a head coach someday, or in the midst of the grind of being an assistant coach and in that career right now?
I give this advice a lot. It doesn't get old. When I was NYT, and we, similar to St. Leo, we were like the 300th RPI in the country. I think when I took St. Leo over, I'm not going to put a number on it because I don't want anybody call me up or tell me, but it was pretty. It wasn't 300, but it was pretty high up there. And all of a sudden, within 4 years, we were in the NCAA tournament and we were winning 22 games. I was like, why isn't Wagner offering me the job? Why isn't NJIT offering me after an interview? I expected jobs. And, regrouping and reloading the program and just realizing, don't coach for your next job, coach for what you're hired for, and be passionate about where you are, and the rest will take care of itself. You don't have to oversaturate yourself with resume send outs. Just got to keep networking, keep counting, keeping your circle tight, and something will happen. I was blessed. I looked into this job twice. I was blessed to be pretty close with Chris Frushi, who was our ex-tennis coach. I think Fran remembered my emails from the first time. So there was a good circle. A Division I assistant called that Fran was mentoring. So Fran was a mentor in a mentor program, and he was mentoring a Division I coach, Linda Simino, up in New York. And, they would talk about stuff, and I think Linda put in a word for me. So that stuff you don't know is going to happen. Like, I had no idea Linda was going to fight for me to get the job. Just very blessed to build that relationship over the years of us both being Division II coaches. She became a Division I. She knew I wanted a better situation in the South, and she didn't even tell me. She just helped me, so it was nice. But just stay patient, stay humble, and don't expect anything. Just every day, do the best you can.
You had tremendous success with your experience at NYIT. Every year in every program, each team is unique, but there are certain characteristics in individuals that you look for in order to piece together successful teams. What are those characteristics that you specifically, you had mentioned you love recruiting. What are you looking for?
I like the kids that, on the court, I like the kids that dive on the floor. I like the kids that talk and point. Working with Coach Tish these 3 years, she's very thorough, and we check each other. Whereas a kid could be extremely talented, could be extremely athletic, but you know what? Had an interesting situation with the high school coach, or changed schools. What were the reasons they changed schools? So the character from the individual aspect, obviously here at St. Leo, we check the transcript first, and then we circle back to how good they are. And we have them on campus, and I'm a big first impression guy. What's in my gut? And the times I haven't trusted my gut at St. Leo, it's failed miserably with some athletes, and that's on me. But I'm a big first impression guy when they get to campus. How they handle themselves. I'm not going to hold it against them if they're shy, but I like the outspoken, confident ones. But I like kids that are humble and appreciative. We talk a lot about being appreciative this coming year and being loyal. That's going to be our 2 words we talk about a lot: appreciation and loyalty, because that's when you're really enjoying this family. When you have that.
Well, you've certainly had some fun bringing in all conference players to St. Leo. We've gotten to celebrate Alani Gallagher, Amanda Ulrich, Alex Button, Kiki McIntyre, and Tori Lesko, who have all helped earn back-to-back visits to the SSC tournament semifinals, What are you most excited about for the 2021-22 team?
Shoot, if we could reproduce a rookie and compete with a newcomer, which we believe we can. Now we're going on 3 years of those neat little categories of newcomers, and the rookies, they last. So we're hoping to be in that player development mode where our young guys coming in are going to have an opportunity, and our new guys are going to have an opportunity. But just building off of the success. And we watched a video before we left last year's. It was all about a young man with Down syndrome who did a triathlon, or I'm not have the right a-thon right, but his motto was 1% better. So if we can get 1% better until the players get here, and then when they get here, start getting 1% better, those little victories add up quick. So we're excited for it.
Well, I guess that answers my next question. What kind of things should fans expect to see in the Bowman Center this year? But in terms of basketball, what kind of things? Obviously, your teams are always passionate and work hard, but
I'm not going to let all the cats out the bag, but I expect us to be quicker, more athletic, and more passionate than we've ever been. And that's what it's going to take, with Tampa and Nova probably reloading, and Eckerd reloading, and the guys that set out that did a lot of recruiting. It's a tough league. 30% of the battle at least is passion and heart. And that's what we got to work on the most. And, hopefully they'll see, while we've had some nice families, I'd like to see, a product on our bench and in our gym that it is a actual loving family that we could just build on every year,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we look forward to basketball season. We still have a good fall going on for you guys to build that family atmosphere together and get fans joining you in the gym. But I just wanted to thank you for sharing your journey and getting us excited about the upcoming season and joining us on Stadium Stories. And fans, always thank you for tuning in. And thanks, Coach.
Yeah, if I could just add, we'd love, for these women after the year where we've had, we'd love for as many fans, from Lake Javita, from Zephyr Hills, from St. Leo to Wesley Chapel, come on out and see these guys. I mean, they're wonderful athletes, and, you really appreciate the effort they put in, and you'll enjoy the basketball. So come see us and stay for the men, and, let's go Lions this year. It's going to be an amazing season.
There you go. You heard it from Coach. Visit stleolions.com. Get all the tips.
Thank you.